good, everyone? Welcome back to New York or Nothing. Finally doing a video. I recorded like 2 videos in the last week, but they just didn't feel right. I feel like I was talking way too much with my emotions right after the Knicks lost. I'm ready to talk to you guys with my emotions, but no sad boy shit. No sad boy shit. We only celebrate in the fact that our coach Tom Thibodeau of the Thibodeau won Coach of the Year over Monty Williams. Let's go! I know a lot of guys are going to start this by saying like, yo, Monty Williams got robbed. And honestly, I don't necessarily disagree. I wouldn't call it being robbed. But, you know, I think Monty Williams deserved the award as well. Thibs and Monty went down the stretch outperforming expectations for their teams in their own respective ways. And you could tell by the voting that voters wanted Monty Williams to win. There was the majority of the first place votes went to Monty Williams, but based on the point ranking system being implemented, Thibs won because he had more second round votes. Monty Williams didn't get enough second place votes. It was a really close race down the stretch, and you know, it was definitely surprising. Monty Williams winning the Coaches Association Coach of the Year award, but in general, I think Thibs has a very good case to win this. I think Quin Snyder also had a really good case to win this. It's just like, what do you value in a coach for a Coach of the Year award? My arguments for Thibs, what I would say is that he was able to do something with this roster that nobody could have done. I don't know if you guys remember when David Fizdale was fired, the Knicks were a laughingstock. Everyone was making fun of how they had this gutted, rudderless roster. I'll never forget when Woj tweeted that out. And with that roster, Leon Rose made very minimal changes. I would say more or less has the same roster with a few minor tweaks, but you know, Thibs was able to get this team home court advantage. He was able to make the most out of the team. And you know, a lot of people are going to point to the playoffs and how Thibs really wasn't a great coach in terms of making adjustments and say, you know, Monty Williams is still in the second round, he deserves it. Well, first of all, it's a regular season award, and Thibs definitely kept it going in the regular season. Second of all, I feel like the playoffs should be more of a reason why Thibs deserved that award, because the playoffs highlight the flaws in a roster, and the Knicks' flaws were pretty clearly highlighted in the playoffs. And you know, Thibs was able to get that roster, which clearly did not belong in the top 4 in the East, a 4th seed spot after years of mediocrity. He was also able to grab the team from a really deep number in defense all the way to a top 4 defense with very little personnel changes. And you know, part of that is helping a player like Randle improve to most improved player of the year. A lot of credit for that goes to Randle. Obviously, you know, Thibs has credited him multiple times talking about how he came in the best shape of his life, how he was just ready to play, and you know, a great leader and whatnot. But you know, you got to give Thibs credit. And the thing at the end of the day, it's just going to be like people who are trying to like hate on Thibs, hate on the Knicks, who say that he doesn't deserve the award. A lot of basketball minds will say the same thing, that you know, I don't think Monty Williams didn't deserve the award. I'm not going to say anything against him for the award, but I still think Thibs held his own and has a great reason to win this award. Now, Monty Williams was able to do a lot with his roster. I just feel like the personnel that he had was clearly way different. Devin Booker being someone that we thought potentially could be a superstar talent, going 8-0 in the bubble, and still, you know, kind of missing out on playoffs. You know, they have really good picks in DeAndre Ayton, a first overall pick and whatnot, and then you add Chris Paul to the mix. I feel like I want to give the Suns a different award. I feel like they deserve like an executive award. They were able to make a lot of moves within the margins. You know, adding Frank Kaminsky, adding Cameron Payne, a lot of players that people thought were unplayable, and you know, making this roster, shaping out this roster. Mikal Bridges was a great draft pick. You know, picking up Cam Johnson, he was a really great pick. Jay Crowder was another good example of what they were able to do, and they built a really good roster around the core of Devin Booker and Chris Paul. And you know, I want to give them a little bit more credit. Now, that's seriously, again, not to take any credit away from Monty Williams. We just seen this Chris Paul effect. I feel like if Chris Paul was on our team, the same thing would happen with Thibs. People would respect him more as a player coach, because he is the greatest point guard that I've ever seen play, that majority of us have ever seen play. So you know, he's gonna take a certain amount of attention, take a certain amount of credit. So you know, that's a huge reason. I think Quin Snyder had a really good case for winning Coach of the Year as well. Him getting so much out of that roster while Donovan Mitchell was out, you know, making the most out of this team that, you know, Mike Conley coming back, making the most out of these shooters that they have on the team. Jordan Clarkson getting the six-man nod. You know, the Jazz have a phenomenal organization, and the respect is going to come for the Jazz organization, as you can tell from the guys that the Knicks poach from them. We have some of the Jazz's scouting department. We picked up one of their assistant coaches, Johnny O'Brien, and you know, we think highly of that organization, and that's what the NBA is all about, finding the great minds. I have a lot of respect for Thibs and what he made this award about. You know, he could have easily just taken the nod. This is his second time winning the award, but he took it more as like a team effort. He shouted out the entire staff. The coaching staff has been phenomenal this year, and then, you know, shouted out the rest of the team. Phenomenal job from Thibs, and you know, it's just the boost that Knicks fans needed right now. I know this whole first round exit thing makes Knicks fans have this sour taste of the season, but I love that we were able to get this award and remind Knicks fans that, hey, this season wasn't that bad. There was a lot of great things that came out of it. Part of the progress that we're doing to make it back to relevancy in New York. You know, this team was a laughingstock, and Thibs was able to give it an identity and a play style that we haven't seen in years. You know, being part of the coaching staff when the Knicks last made the finals run in 1999, you know, Thibs brought back that defensive identity, the grit to New York, and there's no more water bottle flipping in Madison Square Garden. You got to square up when you're playing against this team, and you know, Thibs has to get all the credit for that. I love the identity that he's been getting from New York. I am a little bit worried about what we're gonna see from year two Thibs. I like the adjustments he made in terms of you know, playing a lot more rookie minutes, seeing Obi Toppin inconsistent minutes. Immanuel Quickley had inconsistent minutes, but you know, every coach is gonna have their flaws. Alfred Payne being played too many minutes, definitely got to be Thibs. One of Thibs' flaws, not experimenting enough through the season with small ball lineups and whatnot. But hey, I'm not gonna put too much focus on that right now because this was Thibs' first year as a coach. I'm just curious to see what year two looks like now that he's a little bit more comfortable, now that he has the benefit of the doubt from the rest of the team, from the rest of the coaching staff, from everybody. Excited to see what he has to offer. So far though, year one of Thibs has been everything that everyone wanted us to be and more. Randle and RJ playing the most minutes in the league. So far so good. Let's see how year two goes. I'm going to be doing more videos with you guys through the offseason on the Knicks and what they can do, things to look forward to, and some recaps from the season. I'm definitely going to be doing a top 5 games from the season and, you know, worst 5 games from the season. If you guys have any thoughts on which games you guys would like me to shout out, you know, make sure you guys are commenting that below. If you guys like my content, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. As always, I really appreciate the love. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.